Hello everybody, welcome back. Apologies for obviously the delay. We had to restart. The lobby kind of shit itself on us, but we're back. Hopefully we're back now for the next. Luckily Jeddah is a very short Luckily Jeddah is another short race, only 25 laps. It is quicker than people think, so that's all good. Tyres, everyone has stuck with the same. Luckily for us, we don't have any drama. Lucas Paul wants to start on the soft. He starts on the softs. Aber clicks the same, starts on the hards. Everyone else starts on the mediums. So we are ready to go as Kofi loses the car there at turn 1 and luckily stays out of everyone's way and starts going again. Luckily we have the ghosting feature in this game, so he will be able to retake his position. I think that's Ninja gone off and is letting people through. Now, he needs to be careful with that now because he doesn't want to end up doing himself any favours and getting himself a quali ban for causing a formation lap incident. Jinx supposed to lead the way, as its Jake mate now has been disqualified. I feel like the formation laps have been absolutely shocking. The formation lap etiquette, and it needs to improve. People constantly dropping out, and I understand a rare, like a spin or something like that. Obviously Kofi spun and safely re-entered the track, but like Jinx, that's twice, like pretty much every single race he doesn't lead the way in the safety car period, and I don't know what Ninja's doing, but he's taking way too long. If he's not within 10 car lengths, he is 100% getting a penalty for it. A lot of people getting disqualified. It's been a bit chaotic here from the start, as SLR Quattro is used to leading a formation lap. He's got a fair few amount of poles in his career, and as I said previously, one of the rare members in the 200 club himself. Randro Lucas Paul is 12 points away from the 300 club. Obviously then as well JRR 1 point off, and Jackie Cabana only 4 points off. But as everyone now finally does start to line up on the grid somewhat uncoordinatedly because of obviously Ninja, Rayan, etc. taking very, very long, but we should be able to get going very, very soon. So here we go to 5 red lights for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. We do get a light glitch. Oh, some people have jumped the start and it's lights out and away we go. Douglas and Ninja have a drive-through penalty for jumping the start as Jinx takes the lead of the race. Quattro tags us inside as it looks like. Obviously that's Douglas who jumped the start, getting very high up, as I think that's a Mercedes gone in the back. Mercedes spun out in the back, or I think it may have been an Aston Martin looking here at the track map, as everyone seems to have gone away quite cleanly, and we're still nothing with yellow flags as of yet. Everything gets away quite well indeed as Jinx leads from SLR Quattro, then from Douglas obviously with the penalty, and then after that it is JRR. So a clean getaway from the leader, and as we look here, it's a clean getaway for most drivers, apart from it was actually a Mercedes that did have problems in the back as well. Randro, it's Jake mate, both down to 17th to 19th and 18th. Lucas Paul has also dropped very far down, all the way down to 18th. But it's Jinx who leads the way from the Quattro. JRR and Kofi behind, because obviously more than likely Douglas will be in to serve this drive-through penalty very, very soon. As here goes JRR on Douglas. He's gonna try it. He's collided with him. Douglas is round. I don't know why he tried to fight it, Douglas, with his drive-through penalty, and Kofi has gone through. Ninja's into the pits to serve it, and probably Douglas is as well. I don't know what he was trying there, but all I can do is blame him, because he's the one with the drive-through penalty. He's the one who shouldn't be in that position. and he may get a further penalty for what happened. So most people in the pit lane. Randro, the only one with a front wing change, so he obviously had problems there, as it's Jake May has had problems. Lucas Paul going very close with Alpha, as we see Macker go a bit wide in the back there. But at the moment, still all calm as they head up towards turn 13 now. Alpha trying to strike back and is going to go late in the brakes. These two side by side, and Alpha going to go down the inside, and he's going to take the place more than likely. Move up. That's blue. No, that's OP Gamer. OP Gamer round. That's a front wing in the wall. That's a virtual safety car. That's a very unsafe re-entry. But the VSC is brought out for that collision down there in sector 2. OP Gamer is going to have to take a detour into the pit lane and go for an alternate strategy, but the VSC now has neutralised the field. Everyone going at the same pace, and Jinx and Quattro have gotten almost a 3-second gap, almost a 3.5-second gap to Kofi and JRR, who is quite far behind as well. Vubin has got a great start up into P5, and Quattro will be happy to finally see a teammate doing well for him, as it's go here. Gamer speeds in the pit lane and retires in the pit lane. That is a third race start for OP Gamer, and in two consecutive races he has retired in the pit lane. Shows a lack of resilience, really, retiring on lap 2 just because you've had a spin. It's quite stupid, and he's already out of here as well. So I don't really get the point of him being in the league if he's only in it to crash out and then give up. But two people aren't giving up, Quattro and Jinx, both leading the way 1 and 2 at the moment. We'll switch back to them as DRS is enabled, and there goes Vubin round as well. And he's also reset the track. That has to be noted. That's a 10-second time penalty for the end of his race for resetting to track. So he's in P11, and it's probably going to be a lot further than that after this race. It's Jinx. Sets the fastest lap. Quattro can't match it, although getting very close. And Kofi JRR now sets the fastest lap. Griffin is going to go around the outside of Oven Curry and take P6. FaZe McBot, great start. That reminds me. Let's go and see positions gained. Who has had the best start? Who has had the worst? So Kofi's gone up 1 position from JRR, who is going to start to try and close the gap, but so too is Kofi to the 2 in front. Griffin, great start from P9 up to P6, and Oven Curry the same, P10 up to P7. FaZe McBot all the way from P17 gets himself up to P8, and it's Bluefoot the same, P16 to P9. What a start from Rayan. Didn't even know he was racing until probably 1 minute before the race start. He has gone from last all the way up to 10th place. Vubin reset to track there a minute ago, which I'm not too proud of, but he has gone from P13 up to P11. If he had stayed in P5, it would have been a miraculous start. It's Jake May has stayed where he is in P12, and Ninja's dropped 2 places, which is fairly decent considering his drive-through penalty he got at the start. Aberclicks the same, stays P14. Macker doing his job and staying in the race and staying in P15. Douglas in 16th, closing behind Macker. Lucas also losing 11, the same with Douglas. Both South Americans representing the Argentina-Colombia crew in December. Both of them are down in P17 and 16. Alpha's lost 3 to 18th, and Randro has also lost 11, down to 19th as FaZe McBot and Oven Curry seem to be switching places here, and it's ended with FaZe McBot taking the position and taking P7. That's him up 10 places, and Oven Curry only up 6. Ninja and it's Jake may also go very close as we watch the cars battling. It seems to be only them, and Vubin has reset the track again, caught on stream. So that's going to be 20 seconds and 4 penalty points for him. I'd recommend he stops before he's serving race bans in Singapore next week, because it is getting quite funny now as Macker picks up 3 seconds, and a lot of people starting to pick up some time penalties. Macker's already picked up his second 3-second time penalty. He's moved up to 6 seconds. It's Jake Mate 3 seconds, and so too Magnus. So not great experience from the 2 tier 2 drivers, and it's Jake Mate, who's also 7 seconds behind the top 10, picked up a penalty. Now we'll enable telemetry and we'll have a look to see if they're burning ERS, if they're not, but Quattro seems to be gaining a lot anyway. If that's Griffin round. He's luckily kept his car intact, and it's going to keep his car in the points as well, as Vubben gets by. It's Jake Mate there, and possibly will maybe line one up on Griffin too. Won't have the best speed, but he has got himself up into around the 300 kilometers an hour. Has managed to keep the position, but at the moment everyone seems to be going smoothly out front. Still only a VSC separates all the drivers at the moment, as Griffin is into the pits, and Vubben has got himself up in the top 10, but with the penalties he has, he may drop all the way down as far as where Lucas Paul is. So Randro has got by Alpha into the final corner and has taken at least 1 point or 1 position back, and he'll probably get by Lucas Paul, Ninja, Griffin in the pit lane as well, as Rayan has got by Oven Curry in a very unusual place. Maybe Oven Curry is just a bit slow at the moment. He's got damage. He's hit a wall somewhere and he has picked up some wing damage, and he's let Bluefoot, his teammate, he's also let Rayan through as well, as Aberclicks goes down the inside of its Jake May, who seems to be struggling there. Obviously Randro and its Jake May have a great history with each other, being great teammates, but with Randro not doing well, neither is its Jake Mate at the moment. Both of them out of the points, and it hasn't been at all a great start for Mercedes in the constructors. Team it has been a great start for is Ferrari, and it's also not going too great for them either, as its Jake Mate goes back round the outside of Aberclicks and takes back P11, so not a bad move there. But Aberclicks may have just let that happen, because now, as I think that's Lucas Paul, who's gone round, hit the barriers and lost a front wing as well. I think Aberclicks may have let that happen, because now, as he gained on the back straight and is now going to gain on the main straight, is he going to be able to make a move and get up into P11, as Oven Curry is going to get that front wing changed? It's Jake Mate doing well on ERS management and managing to stay ahead, and he's into the points now, so not bad at all. Guys out front going quite slow, well, getting along nicely at the moment. The top 8 seems to be very, very consistent, and doesn't seem to be much happening down there, and there could be something happening down into turn 1. Griffin is going to line up one round the outside. We've seen it already today. He's going to try and stick it. Ninja's just left the room. Griffin's just left the room. He's almost put him in the wall. They're still side by side, and Ninja stays in front, as Douglas seems to be struggling at the moment. Vubben's got by him, and it looks like it's Jake Mate's going to swoop around the outside as well and get by as well. The Mercedes driver keeps in P10 at the moment. As he loses it a bit. It wasn't actually Vubben who overtook him. I think Douglas had gained a few places and tried to chance his luck there, as it looks like Ninja has had a spin down there at the end of Sector 1 at the start of Sector 2. It's Jake Mate has kept the position in P10, and Ninja's retired. And he's retired on track. And that is going to be a race ban, unfortunately, my friend. So we'll note that. Quattro is staying quite close to Jinx, and he really is going to be interesting between the two of these, and whether or not they can... Douglas hit the barriers here. I don't know how he has, and he's lost his front wing. He's hit the barriers again a bit too hard, and that is the first safety car of this race. He's tried to almost 3-point turn his car and he slammed the barrier while trying to turn it, and has lost his full front wing, and the safety car is out, which could be perfect timing for the leaders in front. All of them more than likely are going to come into the pits now this lap and keep their positions, and I think the whole top 8 are all from 8 separate teams, so there won't be any trouble in double stacking. Everyone should come in to the pit lane more than likely, as Randro and Lucas Paul did, so they're going to at least get a chance to unlap themselves. Well, Randro doesn't have to, but Lucas Paul does. I think he does anyway. Yep. So they'll get to unlap themselves, they'll get to catch up, almost all of them, because I don't think anyone will continue. Lucas Paul does stay ahead and has unlapped himself, so luckily the championship leader is going to remain in the race. Jinx is out. Is he out ahead of Quattro? He is. I think more than likely, unless there is some sort of error, everyone is going to come out in the same order. JRR came back out onto the mediums as Jinx has picked up 3 seconds for corner cutting. That could be big towards the end of the race now. 3 seconds are going to be hard to be removed. Now obviously I need to actually, he may appeal that right, because the rules for the pit lane are actually, I think they're different for the rules in real life. It's the same as track limit rules, so it's 2 wheels on the track, and if Jinx kept 2 wheels on the track and still got a warning, then that may be removed. I'll have to see, I'll have to have a look at that. But interestingly, JRR is put back on the medium tyres. So is Vubin, and then Abra Clicks obviously has gone into the mediums because he started on the hards. So an interesting strategy as the guys start to catch up to the safety car now, and we wait now for Randro, Lucas, Paul and Douglas are the guys furthest behind, and hopefully get going at a minimum probably by lap 11, as Macker somehow picked up a time penalty on their safety car, and that brings his total to 17. So been quite a crazy race at the moment, definitely probably different to what it was like last time. And it's anyone's race, because if you look, I know I look with rose tinted glasses at the Ferrari team, obviously being a Ferrari driver and a Lucas Paul fanboy. If you're looking at that, like realistically himself and Randro there at the bottom, they aren't out of this race. Look at the amount of drivers ahead with time penalties, and they have managed to keep themselves penalty clean at the moment. If they can make their way back up through the pack now with this safety car bunching everyone up, make their way back up into the points, and penalties play their way, they could possibly still find themselves in the top 5. It's definitely a race wide open for Kofi and Quattro, because both of them I don't think even have a warning knowing their record, and Jinx with a 3-second time penalty means that, is he possibly going to be throwing away another race win? Obviously as I said, he's probably celebrating the fact that he's reached now 100 points in CTCR history. He's already got a win in Tier 2 of Season 2 in Singapore. It was a great race from him, that race, and he's picked up 4 podiums as well, but is he going to be able to pick up 5? And is he going to be able to double the amount of wins he's got? Obviously Lucas Paul would love to find himself in the top 4 and be the first CTCR driver to reach 300 points. He has that chance today, as Macker seems to have lost it under safety. Oh no, he's into the pit lane under the safety car. He's going to put on a medium set, a new set of medium tyres, and himself and Lucas Paul now have 25 seconds to catch up to the pack, who more than likely are going to get underway for lap 11. So have a run through the guys. I'm just going to quickly, I'm looking here. Ferrari really do have a strong outfit, and if they can get themselves really good together. Obviously 2 Magnus is reserving at the moment and had an unlucky race last night I seen, but done really well in the fact that he still managed, I think, to finish in the top 5 that race. I'm gonna have to probably check that, because I don't know if I'm right or not. But like Ferrari have a strong outfit. Lucas Paul and Paolo, both with 15 podiums to their names. Over almost 400 points between both of them, as Paolo's another driver to have 100 points in this league. Like, both of them should really be competing for this Constructors as much as Red Bull are, with obviously Ninja and Jinx. But Ninja missing Singapore next week, probably because of the retiring on track, is not going to help that. But as the Mercedes safety car rounds turn 27 and comes into the pit lane, we are going to get underway again. Jinx is going to lead the way from Quattro. We're right on board with Quattro for this restart and see what he sees. As he is underway, and at the moment it looks like Jinx has just about got away with it, but Quattro is going to possibly try and line one up into turn one. JRR goes down the inside of both of them, and Kofi's going to keep the position. No, he's not. JRR swoops around the inside and takes the position. Kofi P5, and 2 Magnus has kept himself in P5 as well. Vubin's making up places, who's then been forced off, and 2 Magnus is off and he's hit the wall. Everyone has made up places and 2 Magnus has dropped all the way to the back. So it's heartbreak again for Ferrari as McBott's forced wide. He goes side by side with Bluefoot here. And everyone is kind of spread out all over the place, and everyone is battling for position here as Jake May has got himself up a few positions, launches one down the inside of the McLaren, and he's going to have to make way a bit, McBott there. It's Jake May getting the elbows out and taking back P7. McBott is gaining back on him and has Bluefoot on his tail as well. We watch the front. JRR is getting quite close, but realistically this is the battle we're looking at. Bluefoot's gone round the outside of McBott, and if Jake May seems to start to pull away here. Aberclick's getting close to McBott. Does McBott maybe have a little bit of damage? McBott down the inside of Bluefoot, takes back the position, but off the track it looked like at the end, and Bluefoot may have to battle again and take it back off him, as it looks like it's Jake May starts to pull away here from McBott. Does McBott have a little bit of wing damage? Who's that? That's Alpha flying round down the inside of all of them. That's a horrendous move from the Haas, as it looks like that's an Alpine. An Alpine. Douglas and Griffin have gone, and Douglas is out. He's hit the wall. Lucas Paul is getting quite close as well, and a safety car is out again, and rightly so. That was absolutely chaotic, and it ended with one of the most ridiculous dive bombs I've ever seen from Alpha from miles back, almost putting McBott in a wall. It's been an absolutely chaotic race so far in Saudi Arabia, which hasn't had a great history, and with all that drama, I've missed that Jinx has dropped back. JRR has picked up a 5-second penalty. Vubin has picked up P4. This is absolutely unbelievable at the moment. And everything is going to start to settle down just a little bit more now, and hopefully we can get back going with a little less drama on the next restart. Gonna have to get the stream up, see what everyone else thinks, because my god, that was absolutely chaotic. I'm gonna have to get some other opinions here to talk about, because without my co-commentators tonight, it would have been very handy with all these safety cars to maybe have a few conversations with Marshy. Obviously couldn't be here tonight, and well, as predicted, a lot of drivers into the pit lane. Lucas Paul is going to come out in the medium tyres and maybe has a bit of a chance to gain a few positions now on the better tyre till the end of the race. Okay, back to, so it's been an absolutely incredible race, and by saying what happened, I don't really have an answer for that. I'm just going to give the positions changed, because that really is what has happened. So SLR Quattro has taken the lead after Jinx picked up a penalty coming out of pit lane for his one and only pit stop, and JRR has also got by Jinx, who had led the way but is now only in P3 with a time penalty. Vubben behind is currently, the game says he's carrying 3 seconds of penalty. He's actually carrying 23 after resetting the track twice, caught on stream, and he is running P4. He had just jumped Kofi there as I missed, who's now running in P5, and it's Jake May in 6th. Rayan has got a great start and has kept himself fairly clean this race so far in 7th, and Bluefoot behind him in 8th. Alpha probably going to get heavily penalised for the most ridiculous dive bomb I've ever seen down into this corner right here, turn 27. Almost sent McBot to Qatar, as the safety car is already in this lap. So it was only out for 1 lap, it seems, and we're ready to get underway again. So, and then Randro has got himself obviously back up into the points after starting in P8, dropping to last, and we're back going again. And JRR has got a start to be proud of as he starts to gain on Quattro, and it's Jake May seems to be losing places, or maybe Rayan is gaining places, but has picked up a penalty there at the back. Look at this, 4 wide here. That can't end well. It hasn't ended well. Kofi's off. He's off, I think, at the hands of Alpha, who's been honestly unbelievably unclean at the moment and is going to have to get himself set. And if we're not careful, there could be a 3rd safety car out very soon. At the moment, I think Macker's got a good start there. He's up in the P12. Lucas Paul's got himself a bit set as well, up in the P11, but it's again horrible for Douglas, horrible for Kofi. Both of them have lost places, and just as I say it, Lucas Paul loses places as well after a spin there down at turn 13. Unlucky for some, unlucky for number 73. He drops down to P17. So with only 2 retirees, it seemed like it's going to be a very clean race, but it's quite been the opposite, and I worry for Beandris, who's on report this week, for the essay he'll have to write during this race. So Macker's made up a few places there at the back, and in doing so has got himself spun by Aberclicks and is down to P14 again. So Alpha's got himself past Rayan there, but Rayan on the exit is probably going to be quicker. He's going to take it back, leaves room, has to go off the track, and takes the place. To Magnus serving penalties. It was looking so good for Ferrari with Magnus in 5th. Obviously Lucas Paul hasn't quite got himself set recently in this race. He hasn't really got himself in the zone. And Mercedes seem to be having a mare, but Mercedes have got themselves back up into both of them into the top 10. The only team to be doing that along with Williams. And at the moment, as we look down through the pack, it seems to be a little bit cleaner than it was recently. Alpha SLK, oh, and he's put another car on the wall, and has put himself in the wall, unsurprisingly. Oh, I don't know if I could ever let him race in Tier 1 again, because how many incidents is this now that he's caused? Luckily he's done the right thing and let Macker out of the way, which shows that maybe he isn't doing much with intent, although he seems to be still going side by side with him with the time penalty. Macker and Alpha and Macker go down into turn 1. Macker late on the brakes, he's going to try it here, and it's a lovely move from Macker to take the place off the Haas and take a points position so far, as Bluefoot retires in the pit lane, unsurprisingly, after what's happened to him there. I wouldn't blame him, but Macker has now picked up a few points. Obviously 15 seconds of penalties may set him back, but I'm sure he's happy enough. Alpha has his teammate now closely behind, and Kofi's going to have to make up a few more places as well. Let's swap back now to the leaders. There's a yellow flag in the sector 1. It's Bluefoot's retired car. Is going to have to probably pull over. I've missed that there. Jinx has got by JRR, but JRR is going to look to try and get back by him. Behind both of them is Vubin, and I think they're both going to try maybe a move here. JRR gets back up, and what? Oh, Vubin is kind of lagging all over the place here. I thought he just straight line Jinx there, but no. He's going to have to sit behind for the moment. Stay in P4, and look how much he's burning that ERS compared to, well, the other two are as well. As SLR Quattro, who's been a bit cocky around Saudi Arabia recently, in saying that he's never lost there, and then as twice has lost there to both Tyro and then obviously Douglas last year. But it seems like he is finally going to prove me wrong here and win this race. He has, well, 7 more laps or 8 more laps to do it, and with a 2-second lead to JRR and everyone else behind having penalties, it seems like it is going to be that way. We'll see anyway, as Macker now starts to battle with Griffin, but Griffin is going to get by and get himself up in the 10th, as Oven Curry has lost the car there, and FaZe McBot's going to get by him, and looking at the pace of it's Jake May, he might get by him as well. So Randro has a lot to do as well, because he's a potential, has the chance here of getting on the podium if he can speed up a bit. He's currently running P5, and that's Oven Curry, who's gone wide there, and he's hit the wall. Everyone is hitting the wall here in Saudi Arabia this evening, as Macker is retired, and it's going to be another safety car. He's hit the wall. Oh yeah, I know where he's hit it as well. He's done that many times in practice earlier, and he was having such a good race. But the tier 2 reserve is out and out of the session. And now it's time for these soft runners to come out. FaZe McBot, almost everyone, gonna come in for the soft tyres. Lucas Paul's gonna do what he done in Bahrain. He's gonna stay out and get himself back up into the points. Obviously on mediums, that fresh, why wouldn't you? He's back up into P9 now, and you love to see it with all the drivers with penalties ahead of him. Possibly get himself up 5 more places and into P4, and you know what that means? 300 for number 73. And both Ferrari drivers have got themselves back up into the points, and it's all gone downwards for AlphaTauri, who are having a great race. Oven Curry, Bluefoot, both running in the points at one stage, one just out of it. And the same obviously with Aston Martin. Kofi was doing quite well. I think Aber Clicks was battling for the points. Aber is now down in the last running position, and Kofi not too far ahead in only P13. We've had 4 retirees, 2 in the pit lane, 1 on track, and 1 definitely on track in a wall. And this is our 3rd safety car of the evening. Yeah, I know, I don't really like the onboard cameras either. I think Jinx told me to change them, and I probably will do after this race for Singapore. JRR, crucially, is going to have to serve this 5-second penalty. And he may lose a lot of time for this. Randro goes ahead and is up into P3. And that is about it, because McBot was quite far behind, so it looks like it's going to just stay like that. See what happens on this restart. This is the most interesting restart, because more than likely it's going to be the last. Obviously we don't like having any more than 2 safety cars per race, and 3, well, this is kind of getting a bit boring at this stage, especially with the restart. We're probably going to finish this race around 9:30, which is 10:30 for some of our racers, which isn't great. And obviously probably around like 4:30 for some of the guys in South America, but I'm sure they don't mind running a bit later in case they have any plans for this evening to go and celebrate what could have been a possible good result. It's looking like it's going to be a good result for one of our South American drivers, and that's Season 2 champion Randro 17, currently running in 3rd and behind Jinx with a penalty, and is going to hopefully maybe go and have a go at SLR Quattro, maybe into the next few laps. We hope to get underway maybe for the start of lap 20, if not 21. Wouldn't be a bad lap to start either. If we do start in lap 20, we will get 6 laps of racing, and obviously if it's 21, then it will be 5 laps of racing. JRR has gone wide there. I don't know what's happened there. But he's come back out in P5 now instead of P4. Phase McBot's giving back the position. I don't know what JRR was doing there. And I think McBot probably could have overtook him, but the safety car is in this lap, so we are going to get 6 more laps of racing. We switch on board with Jinx, and we'll see what he sees as we get underway. When is Quattro gone? He is gone. Randro has got a good getaway, not quite as good as Quattro. It really has left a lot sleeping here. Vubben's going to try it down the inside of Randro. He always is. He bumps into his side pod, and I think Randro is going to keep the position. He's maybe going to try to do anything he can for his teammate to take home the win here. Quattro's already got about a second ahead here from Jinx, so it means that he's probably done enough already. Vubben is right on the back of Randro, and he's forced Randro off. He really is almost just bumper riding him like this is NASCAR here, and Vubben gonna try and go round the outside. He hits into him. Alpha's left the session. He's probably disconnected there. He's still just dragging along his rear end. He's hit into Randro. Randro's hit the wall. I don't know what on earth Vubben is doing here, because he's pretty much hitting to every single driver today. And the 3 seconds, and Randro's hit him. Randro's out on the main straight, and the safety car is out again. Vubben, man, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? You're gonna end up getting your seat removed for this nonsense today. Like, this has been disgraceful. And to think you predicted yourself as a top 3 in the league, like, you are tier 5 material, man. Like, that is horrendous driving. And Randro has every right to be angry at me and at him after the race. So now everyone has gone on to the soft tyres after that restart. And it really is lined up for anyone now to be on the podium today. So I think the safety car could be in this lap because the AlphaTauri has just caught up. No, he's not. Alright, so we're gonna get underway again for 2 more laps, just like we did in Bahrain. The 4th safety car. This is definitely a race to forget, but for Quattro it's been a race to remember because he has driven exceptionally well. And he's closing in the gap. He's probably going to take the championship lead, I think, after this. Unless Jinx has anything to say about that for the final few laps. We'll have to wait and see. So the safety car is in this lap. To be honest, I want to get to Singapore as quickly as we can because knowing the history of this league, Singapore is an amazing race. Knowing the history of Jeddah, it's been a horrendous race, and I hope that we get some better ones than this. But SLR Quattro is going to get us underway again. We'll look at this from broadcast view for the final 3 laps of this race. Quattro is away, and he's reacted well again, and Jinx hasn't got as good a restart of him. FaZe McBot has got a restart to be proud of because he's going to go around the outside and now down the inside of JRR into the first chicane. JRR clips the wall, but it's all clean from McBot, who's up in the P3 behind Rayan, also getting very close to what could be his first podium. He is reserving for Rando, who'd only qualified P13 and is looking like he's going to take home at least P4 at the moment as JRR is losing places. Alpha drops places with Kofi as Vubin has made up a few more places at the start. 2 Magnus the same. Griffin chasing down as Jake May as Magnus goes down the inside of Vubin. So too does Douglas. They're all having a go at the Williams driver now, who is all the way down into P10. We'll focus back to the leaders, the important people in this end of this race, because Quattro is still leading the way, but Jinx is not too far behind. And if DRS is enabled, which it probably will be for only 1 lap, and that will be lap 25, so Jinx is going to just sit behind, hopefully catch up, because luckily for him, he isn't battling with anyone. FaZe McBot is the one that's going to have the battle there. He knows he has good pace, and he seemed to have kept it quite clean this race and kept a quite quiet race, you could say. JRR on the back of Rayan, as Jinx has set the fastest lap. JRR wants to take back P4. He's gonna launch one down the inside. They make contact. Rayan cuts the corner. JRR will get a better exit and take back P4. The Tier 2 champion putting up a mighty fight here. He's gonna take back the position. Jinx is staying quite close as Aberclix is around. And that is the end of the Aston Martin's race. As that's it, Jake Mate. It's Jake Mate off. He's off with a few others. And they've lost many positions, and Kofi and Lucas Paul have gotten very lucky indeed with that. And if they can get themselves quite close, they may be able to jump, possibly Rayan and JRR. Obviously Vubin's going to get probably about 3 minutes of penalties with his driving today. But we'll keep an eye on these two out front, because at the moment nothing else matters. These two are potentially battling for the race win. If Jinx gets his penalty removed, we have no idea who can win this race. He's also trying to extend as far as he can to make sure that he does stay in P2 as we enter the last lap of the race. SLR Quattro is leading. Behind him is a rapid Jinx 1-2-3, and as he burns his ERS, he will have a chance to overtake him here. And it looks like Jinx is going to go down the inside, locks the front right, and takes the lead on the final lap of the race. He has only probably about 23 more corners to go until he wins the race. If his penalty is removed, he may have won his first ever race, but at the moment it's SLR Quattro who is currently in the lead of the race, unless something terrible happens at the end. McBot has got himself a good gap here and should be able to comfortably take home P3, but it's going to be the Dutch of Quattro who has just over 1.5 sectors to go until his first race win of season 5, and the domination continues for Williams as he now gets DRS. Maybe he might want it on track as well, because as you can see ahead, Jinx is derating. And as we head now into the final sector of this race, Jinx is leading, but with his penalties he is not going to win this race on track. Quattro's gaining on Jinx here. He's going to possibly try it round the outside. He isn't going to get it as of now. He's lost it and he's out, and it is going to be Jinx to win. Jinx wins on track, but McBot, I think, has won the race. He has. What a way to finish it. He's lost it on the final corner, and Quattro is going to go from 25 points to 0 points. And for the second time on track this evening, and probably for the first time this season, FaZe McBot wins the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Jinx finishes second, and Kofi won a recovery drive into third. Oh my, what on earth was that? FaZe McBot, driver of the day indeed. I cannot believe it. Wow. He's lost it. He's lost it. He's hit the wall. And for the first time this season, well, for the second time this season, FaZe McBot's going to walk out onto the top step of the podium. Jinx is going to finish second again, and unless his penalty is removed, second is still going to be a good race for him, and possibly top of the standings, I think. Kofi in P3, and if I do remember, JRR finished 4th and Lucas Paul got himself into 5th. Wow, what an ending to an absolutely atrocious race. But the ending was definitely something to enjoy. FaZe McBot wins the race. Jinx finishes second with the fastest lap, and Kofi started 4th, I think got himself up into 3rd, and then maybe dropped back to last, and has now got himself back up onto the podium. JRR is going to finish 4th again, and hopefully he's going to be able to keep it this time. Lucas Paul finishes 5th with Griffin, one of his best finishes in Tier 1, 6th. Oven Curry 7th, Alpha 8th, 2 Magnus 9th, and Rayan takes home the final point. Douglas and Vubin the final finishers. Everyone else DNFing. 2 Mercedes look to have kind of recovered their race, and that's turned to nothing again as both of them DNF. And SLR Quattro, crucially, has his Saudi Arabian curse continue. He went from a possible 25 points with 200 metres to go to taking home 0 points, and it's quite ironic that his position is P13 because that was very unlucky indeed. But we'll see if FaZe McBot and Jinx and possibly Kofi as well want to join the party for an interview. Hello. Was it? Hold on. Was two wheels still on the pit lane? Yeah. Well, then that probably is going to get removed. That is the pit lane. The pit in this league, the pit line is 2 wheels, but.
How are you,
Jeez,
Gaffo?
that was some ending. How's it going, Keelan?
Hello, Kane. You're not getting your penalty removed. Fuck off. That was a shit race.
That was absolutely horrible, man.
How could we go from Shut the fuck up and leave me talk, Caden.
Yeah, I screamed quite loud. I screamed quite loud as well.
Right, will you shut up talking for a second, right?
If two wheels.
Gaffo, how do we go from such a good race last week to that? I'm sorry now, like, I started last, got up to 5th, Would you shut the fuck up? Anyway, I got...
Jinx, can you put your voice on share there as well?
I got absolutely bashed around the place, like, on every single restart. And that Alpha and fucking all the other fucking cunty little knackers are...
Alpha and Vubin, I think.
Big up Macker here if he's listening.
Why?
We love you. We just love you.
Oh, or should be able to hear
He probably is listening, to be honest.
Everyone, CTCR. Coffee, big man coffee, big up coffee.
Like my team whistle. Right, fuck you, Gaffo, then.
Yeah, it was lovely. Sorry, I was just trying to debrief that whole race because,
no problem.
To be honest, Saudi Arabia has been absolutely horrendous. Like,
it's a
Gaffo,
shit
I'm leading the
it
chat.
is.
How does it
like,
feel? Yeah,
more
how does
than
it feel?
likely.
Yeah, shut up! Sorry. How does it feel that Jinx 123 is leading the fucking championship in CTCR? How does it feel?
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Like,
Right.
that's 2 wins in a row for me,
At the moment, alright. FaZe McBot has won the race, so
No, he has not, because
Yup.
I will send you this footage right now.
I'll fucking take your phone off you and you won't be able to.
Fuck
like
off,
until
you
the report is
bastard.
released on Monday or Tuesday, FaZe McBot has won the race. So
Cafu, you can look right now, pal, yeah?
it doesn't seem like Kofi's joining, so I'm gonna get on with the just interview quickly, and then
Before you get
can
on with the
debrief
interview,
this
can
race.
you check ticket
No. Would you fucking-
006336?
Not everything's about you! You need to be patient!
Sorry.
Do you have race director as well, Jinx?
No, I don't need it. I didn't. No, because listen.
No. He got more than two warnings. He got more than two
If I didn't have
warnings. He
no, because then I would have had 6 seconds. So I didn't. So I don't need race director because
What are you talking
it
about?
doesn't matter. Because I didn't have 2+ warnings. Because if I did, I'd
He
have
did have 2 plus
another
warnings.
3 seconds.
That's not get removed, sorry.
Alright. Fuck off.
No, to be fair, that wasn't a warning. That was just a straight penalty. So
Yeah.
Yup.
So
we'll see.
penalty,
We'll see.
what do you mean? See, hang on. So you instantly said that you were going to remove Lucas Paulus game.
Hold on.
4
Shush,
second
please,
penalty.
please. Shush, please, I'm begging.
Okay, let's just get on with the interview because I'm gonna have to request some footage for that because it's actually tighter than it seems. That rear wheel may have gone off the track, and that could be true. That could be true penalties.
Yeah, but the front didn't. The front didn't.
Yeah, but
I don't
Tr-
care
that
about
could be
2
three wheels.
Man, come
That could be 3
on,
wheels.
Please just remove it.
here, just wait. Here, I'm not removing it here and then. All right, you might as well just get on with this. All right,
because fucking Cabana, Cabana was fucking laughing at me.
Caden, it's quarter to 10. We need to get on with this. All right. So tell me about your qualifying first of all. All right.
How you let me qualified, right? So before the race, me and Quattro were doing short qualities. Yeah, I was setting 0.6 bankers, right? Here I'm doing 0.9, absolute disgrace. But I still got Paul anyway. So
Yeah, I think it was a 0.7 in the end, and then obviously
it was
the race.
I
The
did
race was
0.2 before the race. You're
the
gonna see
race
it on
went.
TikTok.
Yeah, I did see it. The race went quite smoothly,
I
obviously.
posted it yet, but okay.
Yeah.
I didn't post it yet.
Yeah, I
smoothly.
don't. To be honest, Jinx, I just want to get this underway. All right, get this over with. So obviously, then the race went quite smoothly. You were in the top 3 for probably all the race. So tell us about it. Man, used to no, not even used to. Just you, Caden, man. You are retarded, man.
Oh,
Right,
Gabo,
come on.
if you don't remove that 3 seconds, I'm gonna go
Yeah,
with your
no,
house.
when you just forget his fucking interview, like, you keep banging on.
Yeah,
about it.
hold on. Just give me a moment there.
Alright, bye.
What a scruffy cunt. Am I right?
All right, then I removed them from the party. All right. So we'll just go with you because you're used to
The
this
race
by
winner.
now. Yeah, of course, race winner at the moment, and we'll just say race winner because I don't want. Alright, so we'll just get underway. Obviously, qualifying didn't quite go to plan. I don't think you didn't get a lap. Alright, yeah.
How are you, Gaffer?
I'm doing great. What about yourself?
Very good. Now, come on, let's go.
Okay, yeah. So, obviously, qualifying didn't quite go to plan. I don't think you got a lap in at the end. Can you tell us about what happened? I think did you invalidate or something at the end, or you done something?
No.
I think on your final run.
So, like, I started qualifying. My math shouts me down for a shepherd's pie. One of my least favourite dishes now, to be honest. Had to go down and eat that. I set a timer for 10 minutes. And I went down and I scruffed that down. And I swear I felt sick for the race. Then for my one lap I got, fucking that right-hander before the S's, I just lost.
Yeah, that's what it was. You lost it, didn't you?
Yeah. So.
Alright. Well, obviously, the race went a lot better. I think it was quite up and down a lot of stage, but well, here you're standing on the top step of the podium at the end of the day. Can you tell us about the race?
I obviously won, but that was one of the shittest races I've ever done in my life. Like, I think I went from the start up to P5, and then like I had boys on every single restart sending down the inside from about 2 cars back, and I just got shafted all the way back to last place. Like, so I had to go from last to first twice in that fucking race. Like, so it was fairly fucking rough enough drive, to be honest.
Well, yeah, it was a horrendous race. I think, in my own opinion, it's Canada of last season and then that, because that was actually like horrendous. Like, I think Vubin and Alpha, both of them guys were like just horrendous. I think
To be fair,
Vubin.
now, like, even in any league, Saudi Arabia is a rough enough track to drive, so like it's to race, even to drive, like. But still, you shouldn't have boys like sending it down the inside of 4 people, just wiping everyone out.
Oh Jesus, yeah, it was. But obviously, we're moving on.
To report. Listen, right, Gaff, if I don't report anything and then the incident report comes out, can I still report after that?
No, you've 24 hours now to report, and then you can only appeal on incidents that were in the report. Right. So, I suppose you might as well report people because you don't know who's reporting you and whatever happens. So, or who's reporting who. You might end up keeping this lead if. Like this penalty that Jinx has sent me, although he is like almost fuming for it to get removed, I think it was very close, so you could end up keeping it. Obviously you were very close to only finishing I think P3 or even just P2 at the end.
Quattro's spun ahead of me now, like I've all respect for Quattro, but oh my god, I creamed myself all over the place.
Oh, were you racing in the party with everyone?
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to hear what that was like when Quattro spun. I would love to hear that. Obviously, we've Singapore next week, and that has quite a good record in the league. Now, touch wood that stays the same. Well, how are you feeling for Singapore yourself? Are you confident in that track?
I'm not a fan of the race, but the qualifying I fucking love. You know, like I think of a fairly solid TT there, and even when I was racing in another league that I won't mention because it's a fucking shit league.
I have an idea.
I set like a 136 or something, which is like the same as Lewis Hamilton's lap in 2018. Like I love that track, to be honest. So
yeah, I know.
Set a solid lap, then it'd be grand.
Yep. Well, obviously, I think that's it.
I did
or
prove
do you have anything else?
Fucking wrong, you know. Like got that robbed off me last week. I said, right, don't give a shit. I'll still win next week, and I fucking did.
You did. So. Robbed, I suppose, is a word you could mention. At the moment, it looks like this one's going to stay, and well, obviously, if that penalty is removed, you're not going to drop down to P6 like you did last time. So, fair play to you, great race, and hopefully, I'll be talking to you this time next week.
Yeah, there better be a TikTok out now, and a top 10 out of 10 performances now. Facebook bot Jeddah.
Oh Jesus! To be honest. I might do it right now. If you comment on the TikTok, I'll make it tonight. If you comment on part 2,
I'll send you a few fucking overtakes as well. But listen, right, for my last words, just say a couple of words now for people in the league.
Yep. Okay.
Griffin. I won't say much more. Alpha SLK, not happy with you, but he did send me a DM. Said sorry, but I just wanted to say, Mac, I fucking love you. Maybe we can meet up one day and make passionate love. Okay.
So, I can give you his address if you want. He's gone. We'll finish off with that. We'll see you in Singapore for Tier 2 next week, Friday 8 PM as always. And I'll see you back here, hopefully with Manny next time, for the Tier 1 race. We'll see you then.